Hey my friends, today we'll be talking about how to emotionally prepare for what is coming. Because here and there I receive an email if I could talk a little bit about the pandemic and how to prepare, how to look on life. As right now all the things that are happening, all the changes and all the unfamiliar things which are spreading around in the information about conspiracy theories and media and science and so on. So what to grasp on and how to prepare for the worst case scenario. So why emotional awareness is so important? Because we are always reacting based by our emotional state. So if our thoughts are triggering emotion, the question is, with what kind of information we are feeding our mind, because that's where our thoughts are coming from. If we look on life as everything we perceive is a food for our mind, then what we are reading, what we are looking at, what we are listening, what we are thinking, what we are saying, it's all food for our mind. That's the food that we are putting into us. When we are speaking, it's the food that we are putting out of us. When we are perceiving, it's the food that we are putting into us. And as the great saying goes like, you are what you eat, we are becoming more of what kind of food we are consuming. As all this information are spreading all around, it's so easy to focus on it. It's so easy to think about it, and it's so easy to talk about it. And if you look around, most people are talking about it. And those are the people which are afraid the most. Those are the people which can't see a greater vision of the future. So why I'm not talking a lot about this? Because I'm not thinking about this. When somebody asked me what I think about vaccination, I said I'm not thinking anything about it, because I understand that as life in third dimension depends of a life in fourth dimension, and life in fourth dimension depends of a life in fifth dimension, and so on. People which are caught up in third dimension and are not aware of time and action and reaction as well, are not aware that whatever they are consuming is creating an aftermath. Therefore, whatever you do will create an effect in your life. In science or physics, it's also called a butterfly effect. Even a small act of change can create a huge difference. So, whatever you're doing in the present moment is creating an effect in the future. And as I mentioned the dimensions before, fourth dimension could be explained as awareness of time, awareness of action and reaction, cause and effect. But fifth dimension is a pure awareness that all actions and all effects exists at the same time. What it means. Somebody who is consciously stepping into the fifth dimensional awareness is aware that in fifth dimension everything already exists as a potential. So for that person who is aware that everything already exists in the present moment as a potential, can call up a potential and make it as a reality. So that person would not think about what shouldn't happen, because that person is aware that we are manifesting what we are focusing on. So today's message is a reminder to you to become aware what is important. And in the times like this, it's even harder, because all around us information of fear is spreading faster than ever, and most of those information are not even real. So the greatest question is how to recognize truth in information, how to recognize truth when there are so many lies. You can recognize a truth if you can recognize a feeling within you. Most people are not aware how they feel. So I like to say, be more aware what is happening within you, and you will become aware what is happening outside of you. Life starts within, so we can experience it without. And when we recognize a good feeling, we recognize a sense of truth. When we recognize a bad feeling, we recognize a sense of untruth. So when we become aware of the truth, we will become aware that actually nothing is bad. There are no such things as bad things, but more like a compass which is guiding us into the right direction. When you recognize a feeling within your body, which we call bad feeling, a compass is just showing you a path into other direction. So next time when you will be reading maybe a conspiracy theory, what all will happen eventually? Rather recognize a feeling within you. Is it confirming that theory? Or your feeling is saying, no, it can't be right? And when you will recognize that feeling, do not react on that information. React on your feeling. If that can be right, what can be right then? What can be the right information? Remember what I was sharing with you yesterday. A prediction by Nikola Tesla. Go and watch this video and recognize a feeling in your body, what your feeling is saying when you're reading or listening those kind of predictions. And then find that compass within you which is guiding you into the right path. Because actually, if you look around, nobody is talking about the inner compass, nobody is talking about the inner technology. We can hear you need this kind of iPhone, you need this kind of powerful computer, you need this brain chip or whatever. But nobody is saying how to increase your intuition, how to gain your intelligence, how to connect with yourself. How powerful are you? But that's why we have all different sources to which we can connect and find guidance to get back to ourselves and recognize what feels good. And it's not this emotional feeling of joy as we experience when we eat chocolate or something like that. It's a deep feeling in the heart. It's a difference. That's why I'm saying how to emotionally prepare. Emotions can be still triggered by environment, but feeling is generated within. And we need to learn to generate feeling within, and we need to learn to recognize a feeling within. When we learn to recognize feeling within, we become aware that this feeling can always be generated. And if heart is producing a strongest electromagnetic field in our body, it means that we can be guided by our heart, we can be healed by our heart, and we are connected with everything by our heart. It's science now. So if you feel separated from others because of this pandemic, you are never separated. The proof for that can be if we cut ourselves in the arm or wherever, we will feel pain. But when we see a suffering in an individual somewhere far away from us, we will feel pain as well. It's a proof how connected we are. Even when we see a suffering of someone who we don't even know, we feel pain of that person. It's a proof how connected we are. When we see that somebody is laughing and is enjoying life, we feel good because that person is feeling good. It's a sign of connection. So the next time when you're walking outside, see that connection within everyone. And as on the East are saying that whenever you walk by a person, see in them divine power. See in them divine intelligence, a divine potential, because it is within all of us. And remember that at the end, love always wins. Doesn't matter how bad things are. Just think about the movies. All action movies or science fiction movies. In most of the movies, at the end, good always win. Because it's a natural law. You can look on everything. Think about a certain catastrophe that happened on the earth. For example, let's look at Chernobyl. Something that was created by us humans with such a great power has exploded and created such a powerful catastrophe. So for such a long time, nobody could go there because of too strong radiation, which could cause a disease in your body. But still, even after such a catastrophe, the nature has rejuvenated, which is a proof that nature doesn't need us, because nature is in harmony by itself. So if we want to be in harmony with nature, firstly we need to be in harmony with ourselves. When we say human beings, it's an organism, it's a community. Being in harmony with ourselves means being in harmony with your neighbor, with your friends, with your family, with your co-workers. And you don't need to hug them, you don't need to say to them, hey, I love you. You just need to generate feeling within you. And eventually they will wake up, if not now, sometime in the future or in the next lifetime. But remember that the power is within you. Doesn't matter what other people will do. Doesn't matter what maybe your family members will do. What you will do matters. And remember, if your family member would be aware of that, maybe they would act differently. But because they are living in certain perception, they think that whatever they believe is right for them, and they are acting upon that thoughts. So it's not about to judge anyone, even not about to judge any information. I'm not saying that conspiracy theories are bad or good, or that any governments or mainstream media or science is good or bad. But everything is a compass which is leading us into the right direction if we recognize that compass within us. Just be aware of the feeling. When you feel bad, see where that compass is leading you. Don't react on that information, but rather find the information which is generating better feeling within you and act upon that. Spread it around or do whatever feels right for you to do with that. So you will see that more often you will do it, more you will become connected with yourself. You will learn that forgiveness is the key, compassion is the key, and love is the solution. There is no other way to win. There is no other way to finish it. It will be a long process for people to recognize it, but at the end, it will happen because there is no other way. As I've shared with you before about the Chernobyl, the nature is designed to survive, but only if it is in harmony with itself. So if we want to survive as a community, we need to be in harmony with ourselves. So when you see a government on a TV or when you see your neighbor doing different things that you're doing, don't be judgmental, don't act with anger, but rather see a divine power within them and ask yourself, how can you spread more compassion or more love, or how can you create something which maybe can help them to wake up. Remember that everything is connected, so even if you're not saying anything to them, if you're not giving anything to them physically, you're still affecting on everything. If we mention again a butterfly effect, a small act of change can create a huge difference in the future. So let's follow that thought. We can look on everything as everything is falling apart, because it is. But what will emerge from it is something which can be more beneficial for nature, us, and the universe itself, because everything is connected. Everything is part of one. And if you go into science a little bit, or physics or mathematics, even mainstream scientists, most of them are not talking about it, but all of them are saying that everything is connected. And if everything is connected, nobody would harm something outside of them, because they understand that even things outside of us are still part of us, and us are part of it. If you harm something outside of you, you harm yourself as well. So this is my message for today. Don't believe everything you read, don't believe everything you hear, but rather recognize feeling within you, what your inner compass is telling you, and follow that compass, because heart always knows. You just need to listen it, be aware of it. So meditate on that, because meditation can help you to connect with your inner self. But after meditation comes action as well. Meditation is a great action, actually. But when we wake up from meditation, easily we get drawn into something again. So act upon your inner compass and do what feels right for you. So you will be able to emotionally prepare on everything when you will recognize that inner compass. And you will learn to generate greater feelings. You will learn to recognize when your emotions are out of balance, because emotional balance is our greatest wealth. Gaining emotional wealth is gaining the control over what we are consuming. When we are overconsumed by some sort of information, we will find ourselves in emotional reaction. So we will start reacting based by our current emotional state. And if information is triggering fear and anger, we will start reacting based on fear and anger. So just ask yourself what kind of effect can create that kind of action, and you will find an answer. By that you will already step into the four-dimensional consciousness. And if we go beyond that, into fifth dimensional consciousness, before you react, ask yourself, are those information that I'm perceiving part of my wanting future, the one future that I want to create? If the answer is no, now you're stepping into the fifth dimensional consciousness and you will choose the potential that you want to manifest. By doing that, you are not emotionally reacting anymore, but rather you're choosing the potential in the quantum field that you would like to bring into reality. And you will start acting towards it. What kind of actions can I apply today so I can make it happen? How can I talk with others so I can make it happen? And as we are talking about the future, we are always talking about loving connection, compassion, creativity, inspiration. So how can we see people more inspired in that vision of the future? How can we see more love in community? How can we see more compassion in community? More creative energy, where people are less reacting but more creating. This is how I'm visualizing, and when we have that kind of vision of the future, we start choosing the potentials which will show up that kind of vision of the future. It's a quantum law, so let's make it happen. So this is it for today, my friends. I hope it can brighten up your vision of the future, and it can help you to walk with more faith, more strength, and more bravery, because you have that divine source within you, divine power. Wake it up and act like it. This is it for today, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed today's painting. I'm sending you love, power, and blessings. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your emails, questions, and gratitude letters. It truly means a lot to me. And what means even more to me is to see your transformation, your evolution, your growth, because together we are making it. This is it. One love, my friends.